Power of One. Today, I will be speaking with two mothers who lost their children to gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. Tahira Fortune, one of the mothers, made the decision to help other mothers emotionally after she lost her child to gun violence in 2017. She started an organization called Voices by Choices. Tahira had the pleasure of meeting Sharron James after Sharron lost her 30-year-old son to gun violence. Sharron attended one of Tahira's sessions, and she did not attend anymore. Tahira contacted Sharron, and Sharron returned. Now, both of these mothers are on a mission to help other mothers who has lost children to gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. Welcome, Tahira and Sharron. Tell me about Samir, and tell me about the day when you found out your baby was murdered.
Okay. First of all, my name is Tahira Fortune, and I'm the mother of Samir Yasir Shannon Fortune, who was killed in Philadelphia on February the 10th, 2017, in the West Oak Lane section. Samir was 18 years old. He was due to graduate in June. He was killed in February. My son had so much potential and a whole life ahead of him. My son loves to play basketball. He loved hanging with his family. He loved hanging with his friends. He likes working on a computer, and he loved the art. And music was his passion. That's what he had a passion for music. He was working in the studio, recording different songs and different, with different labels, working with different artists right before he was killed. I got the call around 11:30 that my son was shot, and my son got rushed to Einstein Hospital. I was in a hairdresser, and I got the call. By the time I got to Einstein Hospital, my son was already gone. He died at Einstein Hospital on February the 10th, 2017. After my son's death, I was struggling, and I went into a depression stage. So I had to do things to help me cope with my son's death. So what helped me cope with my son's death is hanging around other mothers that's dealing with the same issue the same issue of losing a child to gun violence. And that's what helped me get through my grieving process.
Wow.
Helping other families.
Samir went to Imhotep?
Huh?
Samir went to Imhotep?
Yeah, Samir went to Imhotep. He went to Imhotep, but he left and he went to at Front Hunterdon Park. He went to school in his last little 8 months that he was there left on Earth. But Imhotep is where he went to for the last 3 years.
Okay. Now, was the shooter apprehended?
No. Still fighting for justice.
Okay. Now, I recently found out that the city of Philadelphia does have a $20,000 reward for unsolved murders. Did you reach out to the city to inquire about that?
Yes, I did an interview with the city of Philadelphia. I went and done an interview, and they also have a reward, which is the $20,000 reward that you're referring to. Yes, I have a flyer. They did the flyer. They took my story. My story is out there, so yes.
Okay. Sharron, tell me about John and the day that you found out your baby was murdered.
My name is Sharron James. My son was John Hagee. He died on January the 18th, 2019. John was 30 years old. He just turned 30 in October of that year. And John was also on his way to a funeral. Coming from a funeral of one of his friends had died January the 12th, and the funeral was that day. I had seen my son that morning for the funeral because I did attend the funeral also. It was a Muslim funeral. And I left to go to work, and I took an Uber, and I told my son that, he comes to pick me up from work, so I'll see him later. And, we hug and we say goodbye, and I went to work. So around maybe 6 o'clock that evening, I received a phone call saying that the boy, his friend, that brother, had got shot. And never in my mind I thought about my son being with the boy. So I called my son and tried to see where was he at, because it was almost 5 o'clock for me to get off of work. And I didn't get no answer from my son. So I kept calling around to his friends, and everyone was just, nobody, well, really no one was answering their phone line. Then I received a phone call from one of my friends, and they said that the boy had got shot. And they said to me, the car that was at Broad and Glenwood, and that's where it had happened at. And they told me what was the car, but they never told me it was my car. They told me it was a black car. So I said, oh my God, I can't believe this happening. So I kept trying to call my son. Then finally someone called me and said, Mom, my daughter called me, my youngest daughter called me and said, Mom, John got shot. Come to the hospital. And I, right then I was just like froze. And then next thing I know, one of my coworkers had a video of the no gun zone. And she showed me the video, which I know she didn't want to show me, but it showed the car. And that's when I completely blanked out at work. And all I remember was someone picking me up off the floor at work, and they took me to Temple. And that's when I found out my son had died. He was never brought to Temple. He died at the scene at 3:35 that afternoon. So I didn't find out till that evening that my son was dead, but he was dead since 3:35. And
wow. Now, how are you able to function and actually go to work? Because that's where you found out about your son's murder. Is it hard for you to go back to work?
no, I realized to myself, I realized that therapy was needed. As soon as I found out about my son's death, I knew after that I was going to therapy. So as soon as I got back to work, I got hooked up with our Care Bridge program at work and went to go see me a therapy. And I felt like being around people was making me better than being by myself. Because when I stayed home, like the couple of days that I had off for a death in the family, I realized that being home wasn't good. It was me better being at work and doing the things that my son know that I always did, was get up, go to work, be around people, talk, and that made me feel better than being by myself.
Okay. Tahira, Voices by Choices, you started this organization, and this was offering emotional support to other mothers. Currently, how many mothers do you have in your support group? How often do you meet? And did COVID affect how you guys meet, Tahira?
Yes, COVID has affected. I have about 26 mothers that I have in my group. COVID has affected because we wasn't able to meet up. Like I was trying to do a Pollyanna and different things for the holiday, but the COVID has affected that. Like I said, was almost 30. I connect with a lot of different mothers all over Philadelphia. All the mothers, everybody lost their children to gun violence. Having this support group and hanging around other mothers helps me and helps the other mothers grieve. This is something that I love to do and I'm passionate about, and I'm trying to make it grow. And I'm not only I'm trying to make it grow outside of Philadelphia. I'm trying to travel. I'm trying to travel with Voices by Choices on the gun violence, on talking about the gun violence in different states and cities. I want to travel and get the word out. Let them know I'm a mother from Philadelphia, lost my 18-year-old son. I'm from Voices by Choices. I'm here with other mothers. And the thing of it is, everybody grieve different. Sharon grieving different, but we all have a bond. We have a connection in some type of way because we all lost a child. So I may feel good on one day, Monday and Tuesday, maybe my good days outweighs my bad days when I try to get through, through the days. So I have to keep myself active. I have to keep myself motivated. I have to keep myself connected with other mothers because that's what helped me grieve. Because if I don't, it finds myself going into a depression stage, and I don't want that to happen. And this is why I started this outlet, connecting with other mothers. And it makes me feel good because once I have connected with other mothers, they depend on me. I have a lot of mothers depend on me. It just makes it feel good. And I didn't even know it was going to go this far, but this is what I want to do. This is what my heart is at. And I want to take it further. I want to, take it further. And me and Sharron, we're working on starting a podcast, which we just had the round table at my house. Last month we had the round table with a couple mothers. It was more mothers that want to come. I have a connection with a lot of mothers. I have the connection, but the COVID had cut in, so we wasn't able to do what we, do the podcast. But that's something we're trying to do. The point of the podcast, because we're trying to get this gun violence. A lot of people don't be knowing about certain things when you're dealing with gun violence. They have to hear it from a parent that's dealing with for 24 hours a day, all through the year, what you're dealing with on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta hear it from people like us, so, and we want to keep our kids' name alive, and our kids will not die in vain. So, this is something that we're working on doing. And me and Sharron, we also working on start going to family houses, right, Sharron? When the victims, when a mother lose their child, we want to go and talk to them, because we know we got support like you, Ms. Melany, from Victim Services, through the city. But I just think that would be great from another mother to hear from another mother that lost a child to gun violence. And I mean, it's, and I've been connecting with a lot of mothers around the city, like the 12-year-old. His mother just reached out to me, when I was just the 12-year-old that was gunned down. She's looking forward. She like, Tahira, when I'm gonna come see you, I want to be connected with you. So right now, the COVID, it did put a strain on what I'm trying to do. But right now, me and Sharron, we're going to try to work around it, and that's one of our goals, to go out and be talking to these mothers, and do whatever we can to get our voice out there, because the gun violence in Philadelphia is outrageous.
It is outrageous.
And too many mothers and too many families is burying their kids, and I feel as though and there's a lot of organizations out here, but I just feel as though all our organizations, they need to be coming together. Everybody don't come together. Everybody is so apart, and this is not like a club you want to be in. This is something that we're doing from our heart. This is about our children, because we lost our children. I tell anybody, it's not something a club. Days I don't feel like even being bothered, but this helps me. This is what I got to do. This helps me with the grieving. And I can't even tell you if I stop what I'm doing, how my life will be. Because what it was a year ago, I don't want to go back to what I was a year ago. I was angry. I was mad at the whole world. I don't want that to happen. When I started bonding with other mothers, I started bonding with two mothers. The first mother that I ever bonded her name was Quanah Gardner and Felicia Pendleton. And from there, we got a connection, and I just started. I sat down, and I sat on my bed, and God gave me the vision, and that's where I came up. And I came up and I said, Voices by Choices. And I named it by Voices by Choices because I said our children had a voice, but they never had a choice. So that's why I named it Voices by Choices, our children, because it's about our children, not just about my son. It's about all of our children.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful name to the organization. Are fathers allowed to be a part of this organization, or other family members?
Yes, other family members, and also children that's been affected. That's why I'm working on children's creation. That's what I call for the children's. And I'm working on that to get my my LLC for that part, because I just got that. But it's still with the Voices by Choices, because I said children's creations. That's because I work with the children with the back to school drives, skating, doing positive events, doing mentor groups. I even took a group of kids last year. I don't know if you heard of Temple Trauma, Charles Scott. Yeah, I took some children there to the trauma unit through Charles Scott. I took this before the COVID, but I took them about a year ago. I took them to Temple, and it was very interesting. And I had a lot of children asking me, can I go back there? Can you take me to that trauma? They need to see it. That trauma Charles Scott program, Cradle to the Grave is what's the name of it, Cradle to the Grave. Right. That's a very good program.
He does a great job.
Yeah, they need to bridge. They need to really bridge out. They need to bridge out. And before the COVID hit, Charles, he was talking about me and him connecting with other mothers and bringing groups. And I also had a connection with other people from like 2 other organizations. And we was going to take a group of kids all through the summer before this hit. So that's, that's something I'm still want to do because, Sharron never been there. So that was something I would like Sharron to go and see, the cradle to the grave. That was something real interesting to take some more kids. So I'm working with the kids, the children that's been affected, that may have lost families to gun violence, and also men that lost, families. I'm on both sides. So you don't have to be specifically women. It's both, yeah.
Okay. Now, Sharron, you went to the group one time and you stopped for a while.
Yes.
And then Tahira continued to speak to you. Tell me why you stopped. Was it too much for you emotionally? And do you feel that other mothers go through that and then they stop for a minute? But it is good to have those Tahiras in your life to say, I'm here. I can relate. Please come back and let me help you. So Sharron, speak to why you had stopped and what made you come back and what's your mission to help other mothers and fathers and family members who lost a loved one to gun violence.
The reason why I had stopped was because it was too much. It was just probably maybe a couple weeks after my son had died. And I thought I was ready to go to a group and talk to other women, but I wasn't. So I understand if any mothers go out there and try to get into a group, but Tahira, I can't even say words for the sake of her because she is amazing. That's where I started off, and she had a paint with a twist. And I went to the paint with a twist, and I went, and the other mothers in the group is also what made me want to come too, because they was there where they had said, it was comfortable. I felt like at home. I felt like I had a bond with these other women. And I didn't feel like it was like when I got there, everybody greeted me. They was, everybody was so nice. And that was the reason why I had said, I'm going back. And when I decided to come back, I said to Tahira, I was like, we got to do this. And I think you're the person that I want to be able to go out here with, to do anything I can do to help with this violence in our city and help other moms to go through what I done been through. We all been through. And Tahira is one of the people that will help, and she'll push, and she'll keep pushing me to keep doing what I want to do. And as my mission of growing with her group, also I want to start my own, not a group, but something to outreach where we can help when we go see these women with, to talk about what they went through and what they going through. It's a lot of programs out there that I know you too, Ms. Nelson, that you have for us women and fathers. The therapy, the anything that can help us with different things where we might be going through with the death of our children. So I want to be able to go out here with Tahira and just start this mission to help other parents to go through this.
And which I think is important. I really do. The work that you two are doing is great because, again, you can relate to each other. So how would the mothers or fathers or family members, how would they connect with either one of you? How would they know how to get in touch with you?
Well, Tahira, I know she has her page, and she also has the group. A lot of women already know a lot about her, but myself, I'm trying to get myself organized now. So next year, when we get this podcast up and going, we can give a lot of information out of information that's needed for everyone. And even like with you, we can get information from you so we can
parents. And I was thinking, Sharron, we can get, next year we'll get some cards and stuff together with both our names on, so we can, because when Sharron's going to be like, a lot of people like that mother didn't know about the insurance thing. That's why I called you Miss Melody. So that's something a lot of people don't be knowing about the insurance. They just be lost in so much where we could call you for the resources. That's why Sharron will be the person that's having the resources when they could ask her she could be the one for the questions, and she could connect with you on that with the victim services, because a lot of people don't be knowing about a lot of things. Like that mother, she was totally lost about the mother of Sadiq, the 12-year-old. She didn't know nothing about the showing stuff. She would say she would have went through you before the other person. So it's just a lot of stuff people don't be knowing about. A lot of mothers don't be knowing about, like how you just asked me about, did I do the reward thing for my son? I knew a lot of mothers don't be knowing about that. So I have a lot of mothers that be needing a lot of stuff, but I don't have the assets that, to give them. That's why I said I'll call you. So that's something Sharron, it'd be good. Sharron will be working on that side doing that. And I'm working on the things with, for the events and stuff, keeping the mothers, keeping our group going, different stuff. Like right now, Bezos, I really wanted to have a Pollyanna, only for the mothers, for my mothers. What's stopping me? I got the money. I got people that help me with the gifts. Only thing that's stopping me, I don't have a place to have a Pollyanna for the 20 people. So that's something that I really wanted to do. So right now, I don't have nowhere to hold the place. So I had to put that on hold. I just had 4 mothers. They was really looking forward. I had to tell them, like, I'm still trying to find a place, because I am. I'm not giving up. And Sharron will tell you, I'm the type of person, I'm not giving up. Mm-hmm. I usually do things out my house if push come to shove, but being though the COVID, I don't want to have 20, being though, because the COVID, is right now. But if I could have had a place, I really wanted to do a Pollyanna for the mothers. That was something that I really wanted to do. So I said, if we can't do that, then next year, once next year coming, I want to do something, because they was really looking forward to the Pollyanna. I was talking about it. Anything I always say, this is going to be the first event. Sometimes I know things happen and I know a lot of them understand, but I just wanted to do it because the holiday is real depressing. The holiday. Like, I'm still trying to brainstorm. What can I do to get to all these mothers? Can I go there and deliver them? How many days it's going to take? I didn't, and only issue with the delivering, because I wanted us all to be there together, because we was going to play games. I had like a set little memo I was going to do, and I really wanted to do that, but the space right now where I was going to have it at, they can't have nothing there. So that was one of the things I wanted to do for them.
Because of the COVID. And that was my next question to you. Thanksgiving just passed and Christmas is approaching. How are the holidays for you and your family? And for those who have lost a loved one, how do you get through that trying time? And both
it's very hard. That's why during the holiday time, you try to be connected. You got to do stuff to keep you busy. My family, I don't deal with my whole family. So, just my mother and my sister. So I have a big family, but how all family don't deal. How some family is not all what it is, but that's another story. But I have my own family, my mother, my sister, my grandson, my daughter, and my 2 nephews. That's considered what I consider my family. So what I'm going to do every year, I go over my sister's house I'll be over there for Christmas, spending the time with her. But it's very hard for a mother that lost, anybody that lost a child or lost someone during a holiday. That's the hardest time. And it's very hard for me because my son, Christmas was his favorite holiday. He loved Christmas. Like, we used to go on shopping. I haven't even decorated and put up a tree since my son's death, since 2017. Because every time I go to try to put up something, I had flashbacks of my son's, like the stocking cap just fell out the bag the other day when I was cleaning up. It had my son's name. Like, I'm like, wow, I haven't put that up. It's about to be 4 years. My son haven't been here February. So Christmas is very hard. That's why around that time, Thanksgiving and holiday time is when you really want to do something with family, do something for mothers. You want to do something for mothers to make them feel loved and make them know and make them feel that everything is going to be all right, that you're not alone. Because you got some mothers that's out here. I have a mother right now that lost her only child to gun violence. She don't have no family support. She don't have nothing. That's why I'm trying to brainstorm. She's one of the mothers that keep texting me, and I'm like, I'm working on it. She's one of the mothers that's looking forward. See, when they looking forward to having something, because we have a nice time and we got something to go off. It's not just about gifts and stuff. It's about having that passion and love and that passionate bond. You know what I'm saying? I can't really explain because we all got bond that we share. And one thing for sure and two for certain, when we all together, we have a beautiful time. Mm-hmm. We all have a nice time. When every event, everything, I never had a complaint. I have so many people right now in my DM. It's like if I had my own space, I would make it, I would do a lot for people. I don't have the space. That's my challenge is one I'm working on, trying to collaborate with a person with space. You know, that's something that a space. And next year I'm working on my own van and getting Voices by Choices on it, because you need transportation when you going out doing things like just say me and Sharron, we want to do something next year. The transportation to be better. You know, the transportation. I had, like, when I took the kids to the temple thing, I had some of the mothers, they was willing to help. It was during the summertime. My mom cooked the food. We all met down my mom's house. I had 4 mothers that helped me take all 30, because during that time it was 35 kids that went. So, you know, so that's one of my goals, because I want to branch out. I want to travel. You know, I want me and Sharron to be able to travel, like not just Philadelphia, because the violence is all over. I have another mother that's in Jersey that I'm going to be connecting with. She lost her son and she lost her daughter. Her daughter was lost to gun violence, and she's out. So, you know, just about connecting with people and branching off. You know, that's one of my goals. But I'm still trying to brainstorm. I'm gonna call you about that tonight, Sharron, about for the Pollyanna, try to see, like, how can I get the mothers? Maybe if I could just go to the door and give them the gift, because that would make them feel special. You know, just something. You know, I don't. You know, because it's like 35 mothers, but I was gonna invite 20 if I could have had a space. You know, had it somewhere. But you know, right now, due to this, that's what's really holding everything up. But you know, I know they understand. You know, they understand, but I'm still wanting to do it.
Right. Now, Sharron, what about you? Tell me how it is for you and your family during the holidays.
Well, this will be next year will be 2 years for us. And like the first year, the same thing, like Tahira said about her son, that was my son's favorite time of the year too, was Christmas. And well, what me and my children decided to do is that we just have, my daughters are older, they have their own places, so we gonna just start having at each other's houses. Like, we'll have dinner, and maybe we'll fix one thing that my son likes for Christmas for dinner, and that's how we'll celebrate from now on. Like, have something to celebrate for him. So that's it. But it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the show. I want you to keep up the good fight. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed, and I am so proud of the work that you have done. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a blessed one.
Thank you for joining me today while I spoke with 2 mothers who lost their children to gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. The holiday season is among us, and many families have heavy hearts, and no words can express their pain and sorrow. Their tears will be endless. You are in my thoughts, and you are in my prayers. To my family, my husband, Andre Sr., my children, Andre Jr., Isaiah, and Shaquise, my grandbabies, Cameron and Kaylee, my brothers, Eric and John, and to my wonderful parents, Reverend Dr. John L. Payne and Patricia Payne. I love you, and I treasure the bond that our family has. Thank you so much for supporting me, encouraging me, and loving me unconditionally. As we enter into 2021, my prayer is for good health and abundance of blessings and safety for everyone. Peace and blessings.